Hello, it's Dr. McDonald, and welcome to History 4990, the internship for history majors, spring 2025. This short introductory video is just to go over the syllabus and look at the Moodle shell, discuss the course expectations during the semester. Everything basically is loaded up here in Moodle. You can click on the syllabus right here. There is no assigned textbook for the class, and your grades essentially come from reports that you're going to be submitting in the course of the semester. And you can find the schedule for those assignments on the syllabus, and you can also complete them here in Moodle. So at this point, most of you would have already submitted your confirmation of the internship. That's the paper you sent to me so we can get you registered for the class. What I would need for you to do this week is to get started meeting with your site supervisor and make sure that you begin to hash out a schedule. Keep in mind that this is a 100-hour internship over the course of probably 12 or 13 weeks. I know the semester runs a little bit longer, but for a couple of weeks, you've got some other assignments to take care of. Week 2, you have to do a site description form, which you can find right here in Moodle. And for these, all you'll have to do is essentially click on them, download them, fill them out, and then send them back to me. And the due dates are at the end of the week. If you are working during your internship over a weekend, I know I put due dates of Friday. For example, week 3, you're going to start to do your first submissions of the weekly reports, and you have a number of them over the course of the semester. That's mostly what your turning in assignments are going to be about. So you need to send those to me. So if you are completing internship hours over the weekend, for example, on a Friday or a Saturday and a Sunday, you can send them to me the previous Monday at the latest. So I'll send a reminder about that, but that's just to let you know about that. As far as the amount of time, I want you to kind of space it evenly. I want you to work most weeks, just about every week, with your site supervisor. I don't want you to do 30 hours in 2 weeks. So that averages 100 hours to over 12 weeks, about 8 hours a week. So you have your classwork, you have other activities, possibly even a job, and that's the balance you have to strike in completing the different assignments this semester. So let's take a look very quickly at the syllabus, and then there's one other document I have pulled up. That's the weekly reports. My information is here. You can email me. That's probably how most of you will contact me, though I am in the office just about every day, especially Monday, Wednesday, Friday before class. If you need to meet with me specifically at a time, just, again, send an email. When you do email me, just let me know what class you're in. After a couple weeks, I know who's in which class as far as the smaller ones, but just kind of to start with, if you could put 4990 or the internship or whatever to identify you in this class. So we have the course objectives here, what we want you to do to be able to learn and demonstrate. And these are, of course, a fairly new class. This is the class you're taking if you are not taking the research class, which deals with a semester's length of work. And then at the end, you produce a research paper. So this is a little different. This is more field experience. And I hope you can apply it to something that you might want to do afterwards. So the grading policy is right there. The site description is the first major assignment that you need to turn in. You can click on that in Moodle and see what that entails. Be detailed in these assignments. Take them seriously because they are all part of your grade. You can see that completing your hours and your weekly reports together constitutes 60% of your grade. So you're going to have, again, in the course of the semester, assignments in addition to simply, oh, I'm going to just turn in my hours and write in my report. That certainly is a good portion, the majority of the things you need to do. At the end of the semester, you'll get a supervisor's evaluation. That will go directly to me, not to you, and that will be 10% of your grade. You have a reflection assignment as well, where you're going to talk about the experiences you had during the course of the semester. So pretty straightforward, but that's how the grade values break down. Um, Class attendance and makeup policy. Treat this experience as a job. It is mandatory. You need to be present. I will check with your site supervisor to make sure you are going regularly and that you are completing your hours. You need to, of course, if you miss any time, make up the time, contact your supervisor. And if I find you're not doing what you need to, we can recommend removal from the class. So there's something to keep in mind as you go forward. You are a representative of NSU, of this program, your major, and of yourself, obviously. So what we want to do, and again, I said this before, this is a fairly new alternative class to the research class. So we want to make sure that we continue to maintain good partnerships with folks. Those students who follow you will need to know that you and those who preceded you did a good job and took this all seriously. So it's not a free for all. There will be assignments, if they come in late, will be penalized. So keep that in mind. Just keep the lines of communication open with me as well. The last thing we like to see is a student kind of just fade away and not be able to keep track or wonder what in the world is going on. Unfortunately, it does happen more than it should. So check in with your supervisor. They're the person you need to communicate with. If they have an issue, again, I don't like that to happen because once again, we want to make sure that this continues, this kind of different experience in the class. So all of the university policies are listed here, along with any links that you might need going forward, including class attendance, which I've basically covered. The assignments are explained here. So the site description form is due in week 2, and it tells you what you need to do to complete it. It's download it, fill it out, save it, return it to me. The internship hours, basically it breaks down as we've seen in other disciplines and other internships around the university, that with a 3-hour credit class, which is what this is, we're going to do 100 contact hours. You need to submit a weekly report. The weekly report, now that we are talking about it in some detail, looks like this. This is what you'll turn in the weeks when these are due. You need to have your name, supervisor's email every week, who you are working for, the location. Again, put that in there. And I guess the best way maybe to do it is complete one and then, save it as kind of a template. And then you can change the day specifically, the date, January 21st, whatever, the hours worked, and the primary task that you did. These can expand if you want to go into some detail. You should go into detail. You don't run it simply right here, categorize stuff. That's not good enough. And then you want to total out the week that you worked. Obviously, week 1 it should be 7, 8, 9 hours, and then you're going to have a cumulative addition of all the different hours that you worked going forward. So week 2 obviously would look different than this. The dates, the hours worked would be a little bit different, but you want to just keep tabulating. And we want you to get to working at least 100 hours. If you work more, that's fine. I mean, you're only going to get credit for, the 100 hours is all we need you to do. If you want to do more, that's fine. Completely up to you, but make sure that you balance, as always, everything that you are doing besides this class, other classes, your own responsibilities, taking care of your well-being, and whatever else you do around the university, and any other responsibilities that you might have. Every week, you're going to have 2 basic questions that deal with the internship. What did you complete? Again, get into some detail about that. Yes, I do read these. Yes, I am saving these because at some point we're going to have a database about where our students are working, and it's good to establish these connections. They've been scattered so far throughout Louisiana, which is great. Working in town, on campus, Alexandria, down near the area of Leesville as well. And so far we've had a good track record with this, but that's because the students have been responsible for completing their hours. And it seems like up to this point, the site supervisors are happy, and we want to keep things that way. So if you did something amazing, write that too. What was the most interesting thing that you did or learned during the internship this week? Write it down. Tell me about it. Last semester, we had a student do actual period correct cooking demonstrations and took photographs and helped out when students, grade school students, came by. Amazing stuff. Great. Fabulous. We love it. And this is the kind of thing that we like to brag on. This is the kind of thing you see written up at the university when we are talking with other folks about how our students are doing in these internships. So again, enjoy it. Take advantage of this unique situation you have. We spent some time putting this together and making sure that this would be an alternative final class for students. If you're going into a different area that may not be grad school, you don't want to do a independent research paper, then certainly this is a way to go. This can still be a way to go to a master's program or do something in public history, which is amazing, amazing. It doesn't all have to lead to something in academia or teaching. There are a ton of different experiences that you can be a part of. And we wanted to offer this as maybe a way to get in and to understand what you want to do with your degree and what you don't want to do with your degree. So there is a lot of value in this, and I hope you understand and appreciate that. So for the most part, and let's go back to, if we can pull it up, the syllabus one more time. That's the weekly reports. Okay, here's the schedule. Again, really straightforward. Look what you're doing most weeks. Weekly reports. Week 2, you have a site description due. That is linked on Moodle. Mostly weekly reports. You're going to have a mid-semester that looks a little bit different. It's kind of a halfway point report. And then going forward, you're going to have a few more weekly reports. And you can see that there are probably more than 12 weeks built in there. Again, if something happens, you get sick or something else, just make sure you stay on track and keep that 8 hours or so every week so that after 12 weeks, you have the 96 to 100 hours done. The last couple of weeks, you're going to have a reflection assignment due. That's the major assignment for week 16, the last week. And then I'll send to your site supervisor the evaluation. And we want to make sure those come back with everything really positive. And we hope that you enjoy the experience in the internship. So there's a diverse experience, whether you're working in a museum, you're working at the technology center, you're working at a state park, you're working at a historic antebellum home, you're working at a virtual museum. All these things have been done by our students in the past. So with that, I'm going to tell you to start getting to work. Contact and set up a schedule with your site supervisor. Bring your schedule, work schedule, independent of this, bring your class schedule and have an open communication. And yes, these folks are taking advantage of the fact that you are an intern and they are getting work from you, but that doesn't mean that you don't understand and appreciate that these folks have agreed to supervise you, which is a burden on their own time. So again, enjoy this time in your internship. If you have any questions, concerns, problems, or anything else, please keep the lines of communication open with me. And most important, I truly hope that you enjoy yourself in this experience.